not here, you missing out. Cause this show. Welcome to the We Love Wrestling spot. My name is Terry. I'm with Danielle from the Pretty Hills. And today we are with the principal owner of Battle Club Pro. They're based out of New York City. His name is Joakim Morales. How are you doing today, Joakim?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. We just came off a collective weekend. We'll talk about it. But the first thing I want to ask you that I always ask is, why do you love wrestling, or what started your love for wrestling?
My love for wrestling started when I was young. It was just always there to entertain, the huge characters, the pageantry. As I gotten older, the athleticism, the love for the game has changed now that I'm involved in the business. And podcasts like this one, keeping that bloodline flowing, because there's so much. I hate this about this product, or if you're watching this product, you can't watch that product. And you guys love wrestling, and you talk about all kinds of wrestling. So things like this, Jobbeteers, True Heels, American Sports Connection, like so many of you guys, you keep that love because it's all positive. You keep that love going.
Shout out to everybody loving wrestling, keeping wrestling alive. Sometimes wrestling don't love us, but we always love it, and I appreciate that. Joakim, now we just came off a collective weekend. A whole bunch of independent companies were highlighted this weekend. Now your company, Battle Club Pro, can you tell us something about that? Because people should know about your company as well.
I mean, we're a company that's started in the Bronx. We've moved around. We've done shows in Connecticut, Queens,
Jersey.
We've been in Jersey. Yeah, we've been in Jersey. I was trying to remember the name of the damn building as much as I've been there. The Knights of Columbus on Bergen. But yeah, we've moved around. We're about inclusivity, like Latinos, African Americans, LGBT, women. Like, we strive not to be that show with that one token black guy or girl, or that one women's attraction match, or hey, we're gonna boast that we have more than one minority on the show. It's like that's not us. What we're gonna do is show you what I've seen growing up, which is diversity at its best.
Yes, diversity. Very good diversity. Now, let's talk about who are your champions in your company. Let's talk about that first.
So the recently AEW debuted Anthony Bowens to a lot of fanfare for his physique and looks. That was nice to see. The ladies kind of went nuts for him.
Oh, okay. That I've seen a lot of
the 5-tool player.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's our franchise champion. Tasha Steelz, who's dominating Impact, is our Icons champion. And then someone you apparently got familiar with over this past weekend at Shimmers, our tag team champions are the Sea Stars.
Yes, the Sea Stars are also the Shimmer tag team champions.
Yep. And they're the Sabotage tag team champions.
And the Sabotage has an event coming up. But the Sea Stars are legit. I like them. Anytime you have a chance or an opportunity to watch them anywhere, please watch them. Watch Anthony Bowens too. Don't be like the women that's drooling over. If you want to drool, that's okay. But hey, and Tasha Steelz, she's real.
She's killing Impact. She's killing it on Impact.
She's a part of. She was on the For the Culture show.
Of course she is, because that's she's always been for the culture.
Yeah, it was very good, very good. Now, Joakim, we are still in a pandemic. People have to know this, because a lot of people forget. They're like, oh, wrestling going on, but it's still a pandemic going on out here. Does Battle Club have any events or anything you have planned or coming up?
I've been trying to see if maybe we could do something where it's strictly streamed, and the fans that bought tickets to the canceled WCW show would get, like, I'd send it to them personally so they could watch, trying to do something, because right now crowding in New York is still very, very limited. I wouldn't, you know, just having a show would probably be too many people in one place, the way New York's been, because of square footage and whatever the regulations and restrictions are. But I've been talking. The thing is, I don't want to go back to Jersey. Jersey's wide open. Jersey's they're doing shows. A lot of places are doing shows. They're still following the social distancing guidelines. But like the last show we did was in Jersey, and if I'm gonna do something again, it's got to be home. It's got to be New York. I'm not sure about crowding, but like I said, I've been talking, getting ideas, gauging things, have some ideas percolating with some of the talent. So it's there. It's just about knowing that I can pull the trigger and doing so at the right time.
Look, a lot of places been having shows where undisclosed locations that don't say anything about it till after the show. So I mean, right. I'm not saying that he would do that. I'm just, ideas. Let's talk about independent wrestling. Now, did either one of you watch the Collective this weekend? Danielle?
No.
Oh.
I worked Friday. I'm working all the time now. Yesterday was like my first day off in a bit, and I just kind of just enjoyed it. And today I'm got a bunch of moves to make. But if you're someone who wants to breeze through what made the Collective great, you should definitely check out Hokai's Twitter page because he'll show you all the highlights. That's why they call him the Gift God. But here's the thing, and I've said this before. GCW, Brett Lauderdale, the whole mindset behind the Collective is a great idea. So I'm sure it went off without a hitch. I'm sure or if it had a hitch, it was minor, and I'm sure that it was incredible wrestling, and everyone who was there showed out because it's been forever since something this big has happened, especially in wrestling, let alone just the world with the state we're in right now.
So I did go. It was a good weekend of shows. I was a little scared about the social distancing in there, but they had it set up nice. Sunday I had this so many shows, so when I went back, I walked in without my mask on. Totally didn't recognize, nobody saw anything, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, as soon as I noticed I didn't have it on, they came, gave me a mask. So they was very, very particular about keeping everybody safe and everything. So it was a good weekend. Now, a lot of independent talent was on the show. You're the Battle Club principal owner. I have to ask you this. Do you have a list of 5 independent talents, if you will even give us this information, that you want on a Battle Club Pro show that you haven't booked as of yet?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Trish Adora.
Okay.
Saeed Al-Sabah.
Okay.
Of course. Trey Lamar. I've worked with AJ Gray and PB Smooth, so I got to get the third of the 40 acres. The Fallen Flower Kikyo over from the West Side. And let's do a tag team. Let me go with... God, there's so many. You know what? I won't go with a tag team. I'll go with Gino. Gino from from Texas. He's on MLW. Yeah. Gino Medina.
From
and
also on Raw. Yeah.
Right. So I'll use him, and then that'd be the excuse to bring back High End to use them as a tag team.
Yeah. Let me put High End over because I put her over every time.
Great. She's great.
She's a star.
Great.
I don't know. She should be in the next year. High-End will be signed.
Oh yeah. Laney Luck.
Laney Luck.
Laney Luck.
The two-turn unicorn. Let's go.
Right. So Laney Luck is number 6, and it's the same reason that I brought High End over in the first place. their ability in the ring and the kind of people they are outside of the ring. Both very vocal about social injustice. So that shit goes all the way over with me, man.
The Shy Tex Express. They teamed up this weekend and faced the Sisters of Destruction. That's all I say because the outcome was, yeah. But it was a great match, and I like their chemistry as a tag team. Maybe someone to challenge the Sea Stars. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a tag team tournament. I don't know. But oh, another tag team. I don't know if you probably worked with them because they're out in that area. The Bird and the Bee.
Oh, I
So
love the Bird and the Bee.
hey, they
Willow and Solo.
yeah they are also stars. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to put you the whole tag team tournament together here.
Dropping them
Danielle,
free gems again, huh, Terry? Dropping them free gems.
all type of gems. Hell, if he put some, well, we'll talk about that later. Danielle, go ahead, jump in this.
So, I mean, we've had this is not our first go around in speaking, but I did want I want to encourage you to speak a little bit more about Battle Club Pro and what sets it apart from other independent promotions. One thing I will say that has came about from the pandemic, right? It's focused, the larger promotions do what they do, but the smaller promotions who've slowly came out and done, did what they can respectively where they can. We've got to know a little bit more about them. But not so many because of, like you said, the, social distancing guidelines. So they're very limited to what can be done and who can do what. So what sets Battle Club Pro apart from the other promotions that are out there? I mean, we love wrestling, and at the end of the day, we're going to always support regardless, as long as there's a ring and those 3 ropes. But like, what sets you apart from the other promotions that are out there?
I mean, for me, the feedback I get most of the time is that it feels like home, whether you're a talent, a sponsor, a fan, a vendor, someone just passing by. It feels like home. You're there. It's like grandma's house. Everybody's welcoming. Everybody's family. Everybody's engaged. Everyone's loving. Everyone's supportive of everyone else. There's none of that like it is business and there is work to be done, but that sense isn't there. It isn't overbearing. It's not like, oh, I have to be on my P's and Q's. Like, I'm home. I feel right. I feel welcomed. So I'll be comfortable showing out in the ring, engaging with the fans. It doesn't, I'm not dreading going to work. I'm going to enjoy being there. So that family-oriented atmosphere, I would say, is what sets us apart for the most part. And that's the feedback I get most.
Then yeah, I'm not in the family yet. I need to be a part of the family. I don't know what we talking about here.
You got to take a trip out to the Northeast. You're always welcome here. You just have your own personal plights with coming to the Northeast. Look, he makes that. I was in. Listen, I came to the Midwest. And you showed love. So you gotta let us extend the same gratitude.
I've been to New York a few times. I'm not saying that I'm coming back to New York no time, but I did promise Joakim if he did a certain type of event, I'll be there. Ooh, let's talk about it.
I have to find an accessible area, but I would definitely love to. Definitely love to.
Yeah, we waiting. We are definitely waiting. Go ahead, Danielle. I'm sorry.
So I guess, my last question would be, how proud are you? Because at the end of the day, you have Battle Club, and there are a lot of people who came through Battle Club, and there are a lot of people who were born in Battle Club. So it's like to see, the talent's progression. Like, how does that feel to be, for the lack of better words, like a dad, like, the father of a lot of things, like, even if they weren't, born there and they passed through, like, you got to see what they were at one point and then the progression of what they've become. So how does that feel? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I've said this a bunch. If the talent I'm using today, I'm still using in 5 years, then I haven't done my part to help them get where they need to go. And it's great and it's rewarding seeing, you know, guys pop up, Grim, Bowens, uh, Suge, just show up on like places like AEW, Impact, and whatnot. It's great being part of that. I'm not gonna say I'm proud of the talent. I'm not necessarily proud and concerned with myself because that's my whole point. It's my job, my purpose, my being is to get them where they need to go so that they can sign that contract and get that long money where they ain't got to worry about it. Their kids ain't got to worry about it. You know, it's that's my end game. That's the goal. I want them to succeed. I want to be a stepping stone for them to get where they need to go. I love bringing talent in, and they help us grow, and we help them grow. But for the most part, it's just me giving them the platform to amplify themselves so that they can take the next step. And in doing so, we'll elevate and get to a point, hopefully, where we can take the next step. Where, you know, my goal is when you think independent New York wrestling, independent wrestling in the Northeast, independent wrestling period, one of the first names you think of is Battle Club Pro. So that's my end game. That's my goal. But I would never take any credit for anything the talent does. They're the ones working there. You know, I'm providing them a platform and trying to give them the best opportunity that they have to showcase why they deserve to be on TV. And most do, for the most part.
Okay, kicking it back to you, Terry.
Back to me. Okay, let's go with it. Joakim, most do. Who do you feel like is the talent that belongs on TV that have came through Battle Club Pro?
Okay, so Darius Carter, Anthony Bowens, Matt McIntosh, Tasha Steeles, Harlow O'Hara, Savannah Evans, the Sea Stars, the Ugly Ducklings, the Carnies. Oh my God, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Mick Drake. It's forever. Uh,
Look at all.
God, there's so many. Yeah, the Diamond Dogs. We just recently showcased them, but the main event are incredible. Joey Ace has been a stud in the Northeast for almost 10 years. Goodness, MB Young and the Poly Cult has been exploding. Effie, oh God, just to see like my wet dream would literally be having someone like who is the most pompous, like having the Miz just on the mic, being the ass that he is, and Effie coming down and making him feel so uncomfortable that he quivers and has nothing to say. Effie has that power to leave Mike Mizanin without words, like that. But at the same time, maybe he's not supposed to be in that, on that platform. Maybe he, does this thing in AEW. Who knows? But like those talents are just so rewarding, deserving, like bust their ass. I mean, yeah, I could go on forever. You said earlier, high end, Big Swole. Like I love. I mean, it literally went from having a conversation because she teased the match with Harlow, then the match with Harlow happened, and fast forward a year, she's on TV, and it's just like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly the reason why I do this.
Big Swole. Shout out to Big Swole. Shout out to Effie too. I don't know how it happened, but was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday night, I won a Effie award some type of way.
Oh, nice.
I got a picture. I looked, I saw it. I was like, oh, got the Effie. It was all good. It's somewhere around here, but got me an Effie. We support everybody because we love wrestling.
That's right.
Now, Joakim, Danielle said I should come out to that's what y'all call it, the Northeast of America or whatever.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He's like, that's what y'all call it. Like it was glorified.
That's what it is. That's geographically, that's what it is. More preferably if you came out to the Sty, because that's where the show should be happening.
At where?
The Sty, Bed-Stuy, Drew Dye.
Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Joel Santana. It's a whole different conversation.
I was out. That was at Queens, that one I went to, but then I went somewhere. maybe it was like it was a Knights of Columbus for something that was in New York one random weekend when the Colts beat the Jets and everything. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
He had to put that part in
Um,
there.
Everybody beats the Jets. It doesn't count. And I'm a Jets fan.
Oh,
maybe it was the weekend we beat the Giants. I don't
I
know.
don't care.
No,
I'm happy if you beat the Giants.
let's see. Now since we love wrestling, you said it's people like us, Jobber Tears, True Hill Heat. Don't remember the other ones, but shout out to everybody. Let's do this. Since we love wrestling and you're a principal owner of an independent company, I'm gonna give you a 3-pack. Three
Right.
independent companies, not in the Northeast,
Okay.
that you look at and you should think other people should support.
Okay. So you're gonna give it to me, or you want me to
No,
give it to
I
you?
want you to give it to me since you're the principal owner of
Oh,
a company. And you know they always say that, oh, wrestling people don't support other people. So let's see what you got. Let's see what 3 you
okay.
got.
So you are asking for three. I'll give you more than three. I'll try to name as many as I can.
Let's go.
So Sabotage is great. Um, Reality of Wrestling is incredible. The Ladies Night Out brand is, I love it. Uh, Anytime you can see Shimmer wherever they're going to be, definitely go
definitely.
watch it.
Shimmer, definitely.
I love that Thunder Rosa saw the lack of women running and booking talent. So Mission Pro,
Mission Pro
without
is good.
question. God, I think it's is it Nerd? It might be Nerd Street out in Florida. Penrod, Ben Penrod is their owner. He's a good guy. My God, Full Throttle Pro out in Florida.
Mm.
I've actually worked with them, so I know they're good people. Oh my goodness, anything from the West Coast, PWG. I mean, the list is endless. That's the one great thing is that there's always a flavor. There's always something out there. Said not from the Northeast. Oh my goodness, Warrior Wrestling. They're great. Goodness. Prestige, for sure. Oh man, yeah, I'm on the spot and I'm running out of names because they're just not coming to me.
What about Zelo?
Yes, Zelo Pro. And I had one, and you said Zelo, and I lost it.
Black Label?
Black Label, Smash.
Big Time
Oh my
Wrestling?
God. Oh my God. Not Big Time, but that's a good one. Oh my God. Atlanta Wrestling.
Atlanta Entertainment Wrestling.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
Goodness, there's just so much. There's so much great wrestling. But though, yeah, what I named is easily just go check them out. Like they're definitely worth it.
Check them out. A lot of the places he named are also on the Title Match Network where you can find Battle Club Pro matches at.
Look at this man being a professional.
I'm just letting
Look
you.
at that. That's how you do that. That was smooth. That was almost as smooth as your voice, my man. Like that was great. That was dope.
I'm gonna tell you truthfully. So we had a talk in July. We trashed that conversation because it was so far out it didn't come out. But after talking to you, and then you named Mission Pro, so I did these little video reels for Mission Pro, and I was sitting there on the Title Match Network, and I came across Big Swole in like maybe a 3-way or a 5. The event looked like it was on the roof that we talked about last time. So I was like, and I looked, I was like, where is this company at? Then I looked in the corner, I was like, Battle Club, that's Showcase. And then I just started going through matches, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what I need right here. So Title Match will have you on all type of independent wrestling. If you not on it, go check it out. Battle Club is one of the top ones to watch on there. You saw he supported everybody else, but make sure you go and watch the Battle Club Pro matches and all matches. But Battle Club got some gems that you should see on there. Let's see now, Joakim. It's a Monday. It must be Monday. We gonna put this out today, actually. So it's
All
just
right.
that fresh. We gonna put it out today. We're not gonna even wait on it. This is at 11:41, so this probably be out by 2 o'clock. So I got to ask you, it must be Monday. You're owner of a company. Any thoughts on the WWE draft?
I always hate breaking up tag teams. I don't understand it. I love tag team wrestling. The first ever match in Battle Club Pro history was a tag team match. So breaking up tag teams bothers me. And it's not that you don't want, the guys to go out, the guys or girls to go out and be great on their own. But I feel like when you do the draft and you split tag teams, you're trying to force one to be Shawn Michaels and the other to be Marty Jannetty. And it shouldn't be like that. It should happen organically. I get splitting Big E from the New Day. I get it. But again, that could have happened organically. And maybe they're not necessarily split. They're just apart and still together. And Big E can have his solo run. And, Kofi, I'm not sure if I read it right, but maybe he's feeling he's on, the wind down a bit. They call him Grandpa because he is the elder statesman. So, they dominate the tag, or maybe Xavier breaks out and, take over the Cruiserweight or the Intercontinental. It's good because you can mix it up and get things different, get different kinds of matchups, even though for the last however many years, everybody was pretty much together. Again, I understand it because you're going to treat them as two separate entities. But if you're dragging Seth over and then Dominic and Ray over, well, you're just continuing something that's already been happening just somewhere else. Like, it should have been left, if you're going to do the split to create new things, then create new things. Don't drag them over.
I agree.
Oh my God. I totally forgot about some of the things that happened in the draft when I asked that question. I forgot they split New Day. And Days of Our Mysterios. I forgot that went to SmackDown.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't. And then, that's the other thing is, you just draft Big E, but Ray and Dominic go as a package. That does, how are we doing this? You split up heavy machinery, but you have people going over in multiple. It just kind of doesn't make sense. The rules don't. They're bending too much. But I've said this a year ago, and maybe it can happen now. I don't know where Sami Zayn ends up, but his commander, dictator kind of guerrilla warfare look, like the Fidel Castro kind of appeal thing. How great would it be? Just looking at it from the historical aspect. So now you have Drew, who's on top. He's clearly the William Wallace of the WWE. He's got the Claymore. He's chopping people down. How great would it be to get, he's representing William Wallace, so he's all about the freedom of people. Then you get sneaky Sami Zayn, who's I want freedom for people too. I just want it my way. So then you get the person who is to some people the bad guy because he's the communist or the socialist or whatever. But now he's facing the guy who people revere because he is, the hero that represents freedom. So that dynamic could be great. Sami Zayn versus, Drew McIntyre program would be phenomenal. And then on the other hand, for SmackDown, this Big E run needs to be legit. And he should be mowing people down left and right. And if it doesn't end up with Roman versus Big E at some point for that title, then what was the point?
Pointless. Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. I don't really want to go into my breakdown of Roman versus Big E, but I need it to happen. Mania will be nice, but that's neither here or there. Man, Danielle, ask him some wrestling questions. We got to pick his mind.
So I want to, since you let me do that, I'm just going to jump out the window, Joakim. There are rumors, and I'm sure you've heard them going around about, which I kind of already have speculated from this year, that Mania may be back in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What's the probability of us getting some type of Battle Club
In
situation?
Florida, oh man. So originally we were going to work with Uncanny Attractions and Hood Slam and do something in Florida. That kind of fell through because of uncertainty on our behalf. Also, like the booming pandemic before it like was full fledged. It was like, is this something we need to keep an eye on? Um, I'm for doing something, especially out of state. It expands our brand. I just I'm about being outside the box. So like for last year, like WrestleMania week was the thing, and like no one was running on Wednesday, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna run on Wednesday. Then obviously other people started running on Wednesday, and I'm not saying they're copying me, but that's how it happened. But it's like I want to start. I want to start the week off, and I also nothing against them because I said they're inspiring, but like I didn't want to be part of the collective. So like if it happens in Florida again, and maybe we can get something going, I would be open to it. But again, we got to see where things are. But I'm all about like I would love to take this act and travel with it. You know, places like Indianapolis, places like you know Seattle, where Defy is another one. That's what was on the tip of my tongue. Defy is a product you should absolutely check out. Um, but yeah, taking it to like Seattle, Portland, you know, give me a podunk town in Wyoming. Just take the brand and move it to keep it growing, get new eyes on
Iowa.
it.
I'm just saying
Iowa.
that because we went to a show out in Iowa.
Right,
It was
right.
yeah.
Well, since you brought that up, Danielle, let's go with it. Black Wrestlers Matter, Joakim.
Oh,
Happened last year.
yes.
This year.
This year,
Oh,
a couple of months ago.
this year. So
Yeah.
it should have happened last year. Should have happened years ago. But that's neither here or
Yes.
there. But next year they have a Black Wrestlers Matter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is
They're gonna
there
crown the champ.
who? Yes, they yes they are counting the champ. I talked to somebody who JDX was supposed to be in the championship match last year, but they didn't make the championship happen. So, if they were to crown a champion, who are some people you think should be in the when they crown a champion? Let me say that. Who are some people you think should be in the running for that?
So let's go with Anthony Bowens, Darius Carter. Let's go with Trevor Eon, Mr. Grimm, Zuka King, AC Mack,
Yes, let's go.
Yes, Trevor Eon.
Darius Lockhart.
Let's
Definitely
go.
Darius.
Let's keep it moving. Billy Dixon has been incredible. O'Shea Edwards.
Let's go.
PB Smooth, of course.
Ooh, okay.
Great. Trey Lamar.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, the talent is it's endless. Who should be there? But you have a stable that would any one of the three could be the face in the stable in prolific. You know, Marquise
Prolific. How can we
Yeah.
forget about
Zach
Prolific?
Isaiah Wolf. You know, God, his name is right on the tip of my tongue. Tyree Taylor. Yeah, any one of those three guys. Any one of those three guys.
That list is prolific.
It really is. But again, like what makes that list great is that those are all African American wrestlers who are all totally different. They're all totally different, and that it's great that we're discussing it, but it still feels 30 to 40 years too late.
Facts.
You shouldn't your show shouldn't have a token black guy on it because that's not what people are. They they range from all spectrums, all different backgrounds, all different livelihoods, and I just named pretty much a whole tournament that you could have did with so many different talents who are all individuals and all unique in their own respect.
And right now this summer, if the people listening, if you're on Twitter or Instagram, you are seeing a whole lot of representation of different everyone's black wrestlers, but you got different personalities. So you're seeing all the different shades of black, starting that with a lot of different cultures and races now with wrestling, that everybody's not just that one lane, everyone's a different personality, and you're starting to see it all, just showing that people can be everything. So it's a good time in wrestling right now, and I appreciate
It
that.
is.
I appreciate Battle Club Pro, the principal owner, for always mentioning that when he comes and I talk to him. I like this guy, man.
Well, now, so remember, I just said it's 30 to 40 years too late,
Yes,
right?
it
But
is.
it is. But what if, like, you know, the precedent has been set this year, predominantly with everything going on. Like, going forward,
Oh yeah.
things like that shouldn't be a big deal because it should be the norm. It should be the norm.
Fact.
And, being the specificity of something because of a person's color or, where they're from, that person's just a great wrestler. That person is just a great wrestler.
Mhm.
On Twitter, we LUV Wrestling One. I did send a tweet out after the For the Culture show on Friday, and I said promoters, bookers, everyone should be calling the people that are on the show. You should be calling people that are on the collective. It should be more black people of color, LGBTQ wrestlers on every show, and it shouldn't have to be like just a show that's promoted for those people to get on. They should be on all shows across. And I did say we are watching. So we do support wrestling and we love wrestling, but we are going to watch to see if the change continues or if people are just going to stay with that one way that they book. And I'm not going to go too much into it because I don't want to ruffle no feathers, but we are watching.
I'll ruffle the feathers then.
Go ahead.
I'll ruffle the
ruffle.
feathers. If your show is 10 matches and 8 of them are all white boys and one's a women's match and one has a Hispanic or a black, you're not booking your show right. I'll say it. You're not
Facts.
booking your show right. You're not booking your show right at all. Yes, I understand. We're just talking numbers now. 60 to 70% of America are Caucasians. That's wonderful. But when you look at pop culture, when you look at trends, when you look at style, when you look at fashion, the trendsetters in those areas are always minority. And I'm not just speaking black, I'm just Latino, Asians, Middle
Natives,
Easterns,
Native
natives,
Americans.
like it's minorities,
Mhm.
And while 60% to 70% of America is Caucasians, that doesn't hold true for the rest of the world. It's closer to 50-50 minorities to Caucasians. And you gotta look and be accepting of it. Things are changing. Key and Peele is one of my favorite shows, and they did a skit where they talk about races mixing because you get this thing called hybrid vigor. It's because you're making a better human. And that's how society should be. We should be all encompassing and incorporating so we can be better people and our children can be better people and their children can be better people.
Ooh.
Yeah, one thing I did want to say is that I've noticed from like really I've taken, because I've been home a lot more to watch wrestling, you get the different angles from watching on TV, more independent shows. People fail to realize the amount of diversity that exists in the communities of colors of people who wrestle, right? So it's like you've got Calvin Tankman who's doing moonsaults.
Tankman,
you know what I'm saying?
Calvin
It's
Tankman.
crazy. You've got smaller dudes up against bigger dudes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you want to play the colorblind role, like there's a lot more wrestler diversity in amongst people of color. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to include it. If you really love wrestling, right? This is the way people say they love wrestling. You have to just include everybody because everybody has everything. You can't just have one set, book a certain way, and think that you're going to have a diverse card. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
The amount of big men, the way they move now, right? And I'm not even just talking big and like stockiness. I'm talking about tall. tall
Right.
6'5", 6'6"
Right.
dudes who are
Right.
doing flips and
Right.
stuff,
Exactly.
or you've got the speed and agility of stockier dudes. Like, pay
I,
attention.
I give you a great example. Christian Casanova is ripped to shreds. That he moves like he's half his size and weight. He moves like he's half his size and weight, and he's ripped to shreds. You talk about washboard abs. Christian Casanova for the culture, you got it. And then you got like OGs like Deshaun Pratt, who I finally got to watch work live at Synergy Pro a while back. Like Deshaun Pratt, like how great would it be? Like someone in his stance where you think he's on the back end of his career, he gets crowned the first Black Wrestlers Matter champion because he's like the grandfather of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got the up and comers like Timothy Bumpers is another name. My goodness, like the work he's put in, and the czar of backbreakers. Like it's just so much. They're all different. They're like it's just wonderful to watch people like that elevate their game and then be given platforms like the show in Iowa, like Battle Club Pro, Sabotage, PWG, Smash, just whatever, Anarchy, just all these different places that, hey, recently GCW, a show like For the Culture, like it's great. It's past due, but it's great.
You just said something, and something just came to my head. So in my tweets, someone, and this is totally random, someone said that Texas has the best crop of independent women right now going. And they were willing to put that up against anyone if they wanted to settle it and find out if it was true. So here's my question to you. Do you feel that your crop of independent women that you have in your area could go up against the crop in Texas?
So here's the thing is a lot of my area, a lot of the women I use aren't from my area.
Oh.
So I can't refute that.
New
New
York don't have
Texas,
nothing.
It's not that I'm saying
that's
New York
not what
doesn't
he's
have
saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's like how often would Title Match run a ladies' night out, and a lot of those women are local. Whereas, like for me personally, like women that are stars and established in this specific area, you go Tasha Steeles, and then it's like there isn't many besides Faye Jackson. So it's like we have two great talents.
Wait. Faye Jackson is from the Midwest. We're taking that.
I know, but she's local now.
She resides in the Northeast.
She's local now. So,
she resides in the Northeast.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
But so I'll say this. Let's bring that question back up in 2 years, because I will concede that Texas, the Midwest predominantly, not just Texas, let's just say middle of America, from Illinois straight down that region, 300 miles back and forth, straight down America. Yes, that crop of women's talent is unreal. But I can say in a year or two, names like Layla Hirsch, Masha Slamovich, Violet will slowly take over the industry, and those are all Northeasters.
Wait, did you just say Layla Hirsch?
Yes, I said that little Russian bulldog.
Let me put
Layla
her
Hirsch.
Over. Let me put her over. Oh my goodness, Layla Hirsch is legit. Follow her on Instagram or Twitter. Legit, Layla. I saw her wrestle 2 times this weekend. Josh Alexander in against was it Allison Kay? No, it was against Lindsay Snow.
Okay.
Very, very, very impressive. Small, but a lot of fire behind her.
Tiny, but she's a bulldog.
A firecracker.
It's like she reminds me of wrestlers from yesteryear who were tiny in stature but you can see the monstrosity that is their legs, which is why she can toss people around.
Yes.
Because, she's small, but she's powerful. It's the same with, like Layla reminds me a lot of Taz, because Taz walking, you see his
Yes.
tree trunks, and you'd be like, oh my God, this person's going to hurt me.
But he's little, but he's
little, yeah.
Short, yeah.
Masha's the same. Masha's like, I'll do this comparison because it's a little more, politically correct, but she's very similar to Dynamite Kid. Masha, like I see Masha and it's just like, whoa, wow. And Violet she comes from the same tree that Sonya Strong came from. So she's that like New York, I'm gonna get it. Like Violet's gonna be great. So in a couple of years, maybe the crop out here will be equal to, but I'll concede that, like, again, straight down middle America. I mean, we named some people, Kylie Ray, Lainey Luck, Hyann, it's just endless. Like anyone from those ladies' night out shows, from Reality of Wrestling, Prestige, Freelance, like just
Shimmer.
those Shimmer, like all that talent is great. So, I'm not gonna sit here and argue because I understand. We have gems. They're maybe a little hidden. Listening like Christina Marie, Casey Catal is getting great out here. Yeah, the three girls I previously mentioned, But that's the thing. That's the wonderful thing about wrestling. It comes in waves. There's peaks and valleys. So forever, everyone was trying to get to New York. Now it's, well, everyone's trying to get to Florida. You know what I'm saying? And forever it was, you only really make it if you get to New York. Now it's, well, I definitely can be successful up to 6 figures or more if I hustle the right way on the indies.
If you hustle on the indies, I feel like you should make it to Indianapolis, but that's neither here nor there.
But what's funny, Joakim, I don't know if you peeped it. I know Terry definitely has. Indianapolis was literally the Florida during the pandemic.
Yeah.
They had so much wrestling
Let's not put
in Indiana.
Let's not put that over, because I tell Larry.
No. They're not Florida like Florida's Florida.
Yeah.
That's not.
They're not Florida, but that's where people are going to be.
Yeah,
like that's where stuff is being broadcast from.
And I told people it took a pandemic, because being here in Indianapolis as long as I have, it's hard pressed for us to like really get wrestling here like that. So people like, man, you're so lucky to live in Indianapolis, and I'm like, yo, it took a pandemic.
Right.
For all this to happen.
A world-altering event for you guys to get some shine.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know I travel to go to events. So, they see me at events. They like, oh, no, I'm in Indianapolis. If you see me, I'm from Indianapolis. I live here. But it took a pandemic for this wrestling to happen. So I guess you can say it was kind of like a catch-22, I guess, for wrestling with me and everything. But whatever. When the pandemic's over, y'all better still be coming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, like I said, that it's a personal mission of mine. I want to take my brand, my regulars, and showcase them everywhere. And do shows with talents that's local to the region I'm in. Absolutely.
That's why I like Joe Key, man. Before we end this, let's talk about it, because he showed up on Tuesday on Dark. All the ladies freaked out. They was like, "Oh, he's up there with Roman," and you said he's your franchise champion. So, Anthony Bowen, can you tell us a little bit about him for the people who don't know him, since he just showed up on AEW Dark?
Anthony Bowens is a product of the Pat Buck and Brian Myers tree of learning from the Creative Pro and Wrestle Pro schooling. Wrestle Pro is in Jersey, Creative Pro is in Long Island. So he comes from legit TV lineage.
Okay.
Pat Buck is 20-year vet. He's an agent for the WWE right now. Kevin Matthews has been on Impact forever, had a developmental deal with WWE. He's learned under people like, just setting aside whatever they've done in their personal life, just in ring stuff and tutelage, like Dan Moth, like it's Brian Myers, and everyone that goes through that, goes through those schools for whatever reasons they do. Bowens is a former baseball player. He he played baseball in college, and like upon researching him for our first ever Battle Club event, I called him the 5-tool player in pro wrestling because he does it all. And lo and behold, a couple of years later, he heard it on commentary at a different event because I would always call him that, and he realized that it clicked for him. It's like, that's it, I'm the 5-tool player, and he's taken that and it's exploded with it. You know, I love telling him, like, I don't think anyone talks more shit in the ring during the match than he does, which is great because he's soft spoken. Like, he's out the ring, he's, hey, how you doing? I'm just like, oh, Bones, you're awesome. But like in the ring, it's like, hit me, motherfucker, and it's just like, that's that fire, you know. You know, nearly 6 feet, built like a fucking brick house. He can move again, and he's learned from a great school. And yeah, man, he's been on the ride. He's been on every Battle Club Pro show that wasn't an all women's event. It was pretty easy to go with him as a champ because he's a representation of everything that we want. You know, he's a minority. He's also, you know, he's new, he's fresh, he's different. You know, he represents the LGBT community. Like, everything you could want in a person aside from their in-ring acumen, and then their ability in the ring just matches it. Like, yeah, he's great, and I hope if AEW smart, they'll keep bringing him back, and you know, maybe a year down the line we can see, you know, Bowens versus Hobbs for that TNT title.
Make it happen, AEW, because you need it.
You need some more flavor. Take it off of the same person who keeps bringing it out and taking it back.
Joakim, put yourself over.
I don't need to put myself over, man.
Well, put Battle Club over.
Battle Club, yes, absolutely.
Social media and everything.
BattleClubPro.com on Facebook, xBattleClubPro.com on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to bother me for some reason, or follow me, Joakim Morales on all social media platforms. But, you know, just, you know, support us. We support you guys. We thank you guys. We're nothing without you guys. We're nothing without talent, the sponsors, the refs, the staff, the cameramen, you know, the photographers. I mean, we're just a platform where we want to encourage everyone to be exponentially greater than they are the day before they came to us.
That's what everybody should want. If somebody comes to you or works with you, you should want them to be better than how they came. So, Joakim, I will say this. I want you to be better with Battle Club than you are. So I'm looking for the roof event, you know.
Yes, I'm telling you. Once I locate somewhere, I could get, it's got to be an elevator or something. I'm telling you, once I can get access to a roof where I don't have to put 50 grand down to get a crane.
Or a crane.
Got this. Yeah. It will happen.
I'm there for that. If you, never mind, I'm there for that. Yes. Danielle, any final words before we get out of here?
That's it. I want to say Battle Club Pro, and I'll go on the record and say it's one of my favorite promotions here locally. I will say one thing that's super admirable, and I know Joakim's going to turn super red. He's the type of owner who he doesn't like to be called an owner. Like I've seen him help the ring crew take the ring down. I've seen him hang up the lighting, maneuver the speakers. Like I've helped out folding chairs. He was bumping butts with me, folding chairs, you know, putting them down, taking them up. So I think I love to see people who are not only leaders, but they can set an example for others. And this is the type of promotion, and that's just logistically, that's just talking about from back, you know, from behind the scenes, looking out. Like I admire that type of promotion. You know, I admire not knowing who the owner is, you know, not knowing that I'm putting chairs down next to the owner. Like I that's so admirable, and it's humbling to see, and it's something that makes fans like me want to keep coming, because we know that, you know, it's a genuine and authentic promotion, that they care about the people. It's always right. Wrestling's always about putting butts in seats, but it's bigger than that, right? We care about the butts that we put in the seats, right? We care about what they feel. We care about the money that they bring as well, but we want them to come back. So it's not just about, I go take your $20 right now. Like, this relationship will keep your $20 coming. So I want to say thank you for being that promotion. And you know, I wish you continued success and anything that you do,
So
just
much.
promote it. And I'm gonna get Terry there. I don't care if he hates, you know, the Northeast or he dislikes it. I'm gonna make sure he's there. If I gotta go get him and drag him over in his own car,
Yeah, I
he'll
don't.
be
I
there.
don't have no beef with the Northeast. I just don't particularly dig New York.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Uh, but yeah, but wrestling, I'll come to New York for that. I've been for football and wrestling. You know, one time I just came so I could say that I stepped on the ground and walked through New York. Um, but yeah, you know, I'm all about that. You know, wrestling going on. I'll be out there to support, but just getting me to New York just because, nah, we ain't doing that.
Thank you guys so much. This is so wonderful. Thanks. This is fresh. I
No
appreciate it.
problem. So let me say, since how this is going out, so this will be the first time for one of these. So if you're listening to this on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, you can also see the video version on YouTube as we always been doing. We'll be back on Wednesday with our Women on Wednesday Spotlight with Queen B, Brooke Valentine. So listen to that.
Yes. Oh, Joakim, that might be a match.
Let's
Book
do it.
Valentine, and Faye Jackson.
Let's do it.
Actually training right now for that match to
Nice.
happen. And
Nice.
they both want it. So yeah, if you heard this on here, Danielle gave y'all an exclusive. But hey, whoever books it, make sure that you hit us up so we can make sure that people know about this match and can see it.
Definitely.
But other than that, oh, and the Brook will be on the YouTube. We not putting this spotlights on here yet, but you can get it on the YouTube. They will come later when we do our Throwback Thursday run of spotlights. But Danielle's done. Joe
All right.
King's done.
Yeah, I
I'm
got to
done.
get out of here.
So if I
All
love
right.
wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet for the coaches.
See you guys.